something strange is going on as we are now extremely close to Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s hard set deadline surrounding his future in Toronto. We've had a bunch of strange things go on, from reports to relatives of players leaking an extension being signed. We're going to break all that down in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, a quick reminder, if you're part of the 71% and want to subscribe to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has been absolutely unbelievable. So thank you guys for that as we are on the road to now 17,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for allowing us to hit 16,000 subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day where we'll most likely find out where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to test free agency following this next upcoming season or not. But a bunch of weird things have been going on and dropping, whether it was last night and whether it is now. Of course, some new reports dropping all around baseball surrounding the situation, because it is ridiculous. And I want to start with a few different things. And this was the big thing in Jays land late last night. And this is extremely interesting. And again, take it with, as I always say, a grain of salt. But it's less a report and just more so interesting things. So you can see here from the top, and we'll go from the top to bottom, from Rob Wong. Hopefully, Jimmy Garcia's brother is more reliable than Gavin Floyd's cousin. And of course, Gavin Floyd, I believe, was like a relative of a former player like 10 years ago that said he was going to be a J and then didn't happen. But either way, you can see here, Jimmy Garcia's brother leaking the extension, tweet deleted. Now, if you were unfamiliar, late last night, you can see here from, I believe his name is Alberto Garcia, hashtag Blue Jays, hashtag Vladdy, with a bunch of money signs. Now, this is extremely interesting because this is, by the way, according to everybody here, it is the brother of Jimmy Garcia, Alberto Garcia. And apparently he was the one who tweeted. I mean, he did. I saw the tweet as well before it got deleted. He tweeted money bag signs, a bunch of interesting things. And it seemed like he was alluding to the fact that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to get extended. Now, he ended up deleting the tweet. So either he got told from Jimmy Garcia himself or Ross Atkins, someone saying, hey, do not leak this early. But it is a very good sign nonetheless. And again, it's apparently Jimmy Garcia's brother, and he's saying that hashtag Blue Jays, hashtag Vladdy. I can't imagine he would tweet this without realizing the repercussions of his actions, assuming he knows every Blue Jays fan on the face of this planet is waiting for this big decision surrounding Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And it's very interesting that he decided to do that. Now, the tweet got deleted, so maybe it was just taken out of proportion. We will find out in the next 24 hours or so, and probably today. I think an extension will get done today if it is going to get done. But you start to pair this with a bunch of other things that have been going on. Again, we think back to the Carlos Baerga report from a few days ago. There's a lot of different things going on. Also, I have a couple tidbits from Jamie Campbell. Shout out to Jamie Campbell as well. But we think about from the Carlos Baerga literally 2 days ago now, saying that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. assures in the coming days, Carlos Baerga assures that Vladdy's going to be signing a contract between $450 and $500 million. Anthony Santander already announced that the Blue Jays promised him to bring Vladdy back. And you kind of start to pair a bunch of different things. Now, I'm not saying, Carlos Baerga or, in this case, Hector Gomez right after saying that an extension is coming soon as well are reliable, reporters. However, when it comes to extensions, with Dominican players and just extensions in general, Carlos Baerga has been on the money. I believe he got the Uriel Rodriguez signing. He got a couple other things as well there, and he's been on the ball. So I do not think he would say this without it being legit. Now, of course, nothing's going to get leaked until the deadline, but you also have, of course, Anthony Santander, according to Carlos Baerga, saying that, he announced that Vladdy's going to come back because, again, Anthony Santander has contracts worth up to 6 years, $110 million, whatever it is. He would not sign that contract if he thought this team was going to be a bottom feeder in the AL East. And I would assure him that, again, Anthony Santander is Venezuelan. Carlos Baerga has gotten some things right with, Venezuelan players again in the past as well. So if you start to add all these things together, you can start to see and start to paint a very clear picture about how extension could easily get done. You pair that with the fact that Jimmy Garcia's brother, obviously Jimmy Garcia would know because he's close with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Jimmy Garcia also signed an extension signed a new contract. He got traded at the deadline this offseason. It is all starting to add up. Now, could this just all be ridiculous coincidences? Absolutely. Could we be getting led on again? Absolutely. It's happened before. Shohei Ohtani, Roki Sasaki, all these different things. There's no doubt that this isn't clear-cut evidence that it's going to happen. However, I think it's very likely now that it's going to happen. See this here. We'll find out tomorrow, which is today, because the tweet was from yesterday. But man, I just don't think ownership lets the day pass without a contract signed. They know how important he is, and Vlad wants to be here. Get it done. Now, there is a little bit of confusion about the deadline. Some people are saying, I believe it was in Ben Nicholson-Smith's article, saying Monday, or saying Tuesday. Shai Davidi's article saying Monday. I think the deadline he set was the 18th. So either the day, I mean, obviously the Jays front office would know this, but either as soon as it hits the 18th, he's no longer going to be negotiating, which would mean tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Eastern is when the deadline is, or it's the end of the day Tuesday. That's still not really clear to us, which doesn't really matter because all that matters is to the front office if it actually is going to be. I'm assuming it's probably tomorrow at 11:59 is when the extension. As soon as it hits the 18th, he's not going to extend. But again, if it's a matter of figuring out and ironing out final details, this isn't like a strict signing like the trade deadline or anything like that. So it's going to be very interesting. And we saw this yesterday. Keep working, counting down. Now he's counting down to spring training because he's going to have to report tomorrow, or I guess the day after tomorrow. But man, oh man, because Tuesday is when everybody reports to spring training. So everybody has to. We've already saw Anthony Santander. We haven't really seen Vladdy a ton yet, at least not from the beat reporters there. A bunch of weird things going on. But I do ultimately think that when it's all said and done, later today, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. And I'm hoping that Jimmy Garcia had to delete this tweet, or his brother that is, because of the fact that maybe they said, hey, don't leak this. We're going to wait until tomorrow to go through all this. And I'm hoping that is the case because I think that is the most likely outcome at this point. You pair this with the Shai Davidi article from a couple days ago saying deadlines drive decisions. Extension talks between Vladdy and the Blue Jays will likely go down to the wire. Most times, deadlines and momentum get deals done. Deadlines drive decisions. Things don't really happen in our business until deadlines kick in. Ladies and gentlemen, the deadline is assuming today at 11:59 or tomorrow at 11:59. We don't really, I think it's tonight, but again, we'll probably hear something about it today, and we're going to keep you up to date, but I just wanted to bring that up because it's extremely intriguing to me. All these different things coming together at once. It's going to be interesting. Jamie Campbell also revealed a game-changing point. You should go ahead and listen to that. He goes over a bunch of different things. Goes over some pros, some no real cons of signing Vladdy, but basically, what he basically said was a lot of the players, and he specifically mentioned Edwin Encarnacion, a lot of the players that come to the Blue Jays and actually live in the environment say it's the best organization by far to stay in, but actually getting those players in is a lot more difficult because of coming to a new country, all these different things, right? He didn't mention the taxes, but all the different things. Whereas with Vladdy, because he's already been in, it's easier to retain him, and he ultimately thinks that the Jays will get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But we'll keep you guys up to date the moment the signing drops. I will make sure to make a video and, of course, keep you up to date throughout the day today with any new updates that drop. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. One other thing, a couple other things as well. Daulton Varsho surrounding his shoulder. He's been hitting in the cage, taking batting practice started with no issues, but it is a throwing that has been the big focus at camp. Varsho arrived at the PDC on January 7th and started throwing a football, and now he's into his third and fourth week of throwing a baseball. He's only throwing it 90 feet right now. It's not about the distance. It's more about the intensity. You're trying to get intensity so that when you do back up, you're no longer using your bigger muscles. You're using your rotator cuff again, your labrum. You're able to be finished. Be able to do exactly what I want to do. So Daulton Varsho, hopefully he's going to be ready sometime, soon after opening day. We know he's not going to be ready according to all signs on opening day, but we all want nothing more than Daulton Varsho to be the starting center fielder for the Jays this year. But ultimately, we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a crazy and critical. This is the biggest 24 to 48 hours in Blue Jays in the past decade. You could argue Blue Jays history, but of course, the World Series is in the 1990s, 93, and so on. But we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to, because today is going to be an absolutely absurd day. Cheers.